welcome to the bus. We'll do a quick walkthrough, show you kind of everything that we got going on here. First of all, normally we built this area as a spot for the wood stove, but it's summertime right now, it's hot, so it's disconnected. And we have this evaporative cooler in place. It works pretty darn good. It's essentially a swamp cooler and just uses water to blow some colder air out. And it uses really low power, so we can run it off of the solar and the battery system without too many issues. And so we'll switch that back out when it's cold so that we can use the fireplace right there. There's some wood storage down here for the fireplace. A bunch of paper and miscellaneous stuff right now that we can just waiting to burn. All right, and then this is the main sofa. It's about, I think, 6.5 feet long all the way. So it's plenty long for people to sleep on, and we've had a couple of full-grown adults stay the night on it. There's some more storage down below the sofa. Generally just use it for like canned goods and board games, things like that. So if you come a little more in, we got the dining area. Each of these benches has some storage underneath that you can take a look at. A vacuum on that side. Same on the other side. This table does come down pretty easily. Just twist it. That post comes out, and then this fits in there if you want to set it up for seating. And we have 2 screened windows in this main area. So we got one right here and then one on the other side to get some good airflow, but also keep the bugs out. Let's see. For kitchen storage, we just built this cabinet here and then got all these bins that hold things, and it goes pretty deep, so there's room behind these as well. But spices, coffee stuff, everything we really need. These ones you can actually fit 2 levels deep of these bins, so there's a lot of storage, and there's a little lip right here so that they don't fall out. And in fact, when driving, that's all we ever need to do. We have never had an issue really. One time we had one fall out, but it was in Baja, and it was before we had these lips. Since then, there's been no issues at all. So for the stove, we started out just using a regular camp stove, and it worked so good that we never quite got around to changing it. We did design the cabinet to fit like a standard, I think it's about a 21-inch opening RV stove, and have almost upgraded a few times, but just haven't made it happen. From there, we got the fridge. So it's just a standard residential fridge, runs on 110, but the solar system that we have in the bus is plenty to run it. Holds lots of food with the freezer on the bottom, right there. And this drawer kind of pulls out, comes all the way out. All right, so a nice thing about the fridge is that this shelf is actually secured in the back and the front, so it holds the fridge down, and then there's a cleat behind it so that it can't roll forward. So we've driven a couple thousand miles with it this way, and it's never come out at all. And we just use these little baby straps to keep it closed when we drive. And as long as you remember to do that, no problems at all. We'll kind of start here and move our way back that way. This is just a pantry. Once again, it's actually a ton of room. So we use these 3 shelves for food. This is kind of a medicine cabinet area up here. And then down below is actually a cat box. So just a typical sink. We didn't go for the full size, but it works pretty good. It's nice and deep for doing dishes and stuff. On the left is filtered water, and I'll show you how that works in a second. And then this is just like a standard sink. We do have hot water hooked up, which I'll show you too. Down below, it's a little tough to see, but come on around. There's a 3-stage sediment filter and then a UV one on top. Usually we don't run the UV in the States. We bought it for like being in places like Mexico where the water is more questionable and there's a lot more parasites. So it's nice to have, but you can just unplug it and not use it. It's just a standard utensil drawer. And we have devised a little system to keep that closed when we drive as well. More storage for pots and pans down there. And that's pretty much it for the kitchen. We have this LED light that runs along and it's on a dimmer. And then there's some brighter lights on the other side that are used for the dining table. And really just for the whole area. Coming back from there, we have the girls' bunks. So we have, these are also full-length mattresses, so they'll fit a full adult. Just kind of integrated the stairs into the wall there. Each of the bunks has a 110-volt outlet back there. You can see that one here. And a shelf and like kind of a little cubby area. They also have curtains for the windows that open. Obviously, that's what curtains do. And then we get another bunk down here that you can see. So a little bit smaller curtains. There's also an outlet up there. A little cubby for toys or whatever you want to put in there. And then let's take a look at the bathroom. So I'll just kind of stay out here. So right there is the hot water heater. So the temperature there is what the water is currently at. And then if, as you turn it on, it heats up. I'll actually kick the shower on real quick so we can take a look at that. So there's the shower, which we finished in like cedar and put a nice stain and wipe-on polyurethane. So now let's take a look at the hot water heater. You can see it's heating up there. We set it to 120 and it works pretty good for us. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Typically it takes about 20 seconds before it's hot. Like when I just turned it off there, it was plenty warm. I would have hopped in it by now. And aside from that, in the bathroom, of course, we got the Nature's Head, sort of standard. In industry, definitely ripe for disruption, though. So, if you're a manufacturer, think about it. And finally, real quick, a bedroom with a door. Come on in. All right. So right off the bat, just more of the same bins like we have in the living room, and these also have a little lip, so they don't. Never had an issue with them coming out. They go back too deep as well, so you can really hold a heck of a lot of stuff there. And little drawer down here for the girls. We just stretch a bungee cord across this when we drive to keep it closed, and works great. What else do we got in here? Right behind you, before we forget, is the solar controller. So we have 600 watts on top. This is a 40 amp Rover controller, MPPT. This is the light, kind of the bright light switch for the closet here, and then this is also a dimmer for the bedroom area. This is another kind of just like a work desk, and with a shelf on top. Then full-size mattress, so it's 54 inches wide, and it's a little bit longer. It's probably about 7 feet from edge to edge, so we just kind of stuff some pillows back on that side. But it's plenty long. These curtains back here still open, and this that door is functional. It's like a horizontal lift-up door. These two windows back here also have screens, so at night you get a nice cool breeze running across the bed. It's very comfortable. Just some small little lamps there. And we also have the door in here. I forgot to mention, the door in the bathroom opens as well. It works just like this one. So, pretty typical with this devised security system. And this bungee cord is just used to hold that vent or that stool in place. These curtains are like blackout curtains, so even in the middle of the day, if you close it all up, it's pretty darn dark in here. This is another work desk. Throw a laptop up here and like a keyboard and mouse down there. If you peek down here, you can see there's some USB outlets. That's wired up directly to the 12 volt, so you don't have to run the inverter for that to work. And then there's also a 110 plug down below that you can see back there. What else? And let's take a, oh yeah, we have all this storage under the bed right here. All these lights are on a little motion detector. So on the left, there's one right there. And then same as, so I put my hand in the way. So pretty good storage. Got a basic safe just for storing paperwork and things. And let's take a quick look back here. Let me move all this stuff to the left first. So there's just some locked storage back there for whatever you want. And then we have 4 6-volt batteries wired in series down here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 24-volt battery bank, which lets you run more solar for the controller that we have. In fact, you could add another 2 panels as it is right now. This is a 24-volt Ames inverter. Really fantastic inverter. We can run the Vitamix on that. I've used a chop saw on it numerous times, never had any issues. So that thing's awesome. The plug from outside to plug into shore power is on the other side of this, and that just comes into, first it comes into the inverter. If the inverter senses that shore power is present, then it just lets it pass through and activates the load center from the shore power. When we're not plugged into shore power, then it runs everything off the batteries, and it switches all automatically. That's a 12-volt circuit, 24-volt to 12-volt converter, so that all the 12-volt appliances run as expected. There's also another fuse panel hidden back there for some stuff on this side of the bus. That's it. We also have a few things going on in the cargo area that we'll show another video of after this.
Let's take a quick look at the cargo bins. Alright, so on this side we have 2 5-gallon propane tanks. And this one just goes up there into the kitchen area for the stove. This water line here is actually just capped off. You can see there down at the end. It's an extra one that I was going to maybe use to like hook up a hose bib or something right outside and just haven't done. There's also some 110 down here. And that tank back behind there is the freshwater tank. I'll show you all the plumbing for that on the other side. And then just miscellaneous extras in here. And then the gray tank is back there behind the fan and stuff. Let's go check out the other side now. Alright, here's the cargo on the other side. This is the freshwater gravity fill, and then this is if you're hooking up to city water, and the city water actually supplies the pressure to the system. Pop this bin out here. Down through here, you can see that's the city water input right there. It goes through a pressure regulator so that you can dial down and not like over pressurize the system. So then that comes around here into a check valve so that it flows this way, and then that way there's a check valve coming here too to the water pump in the freshwater system, so that only really one system can run at a time and it won't backfill the other way. That goes up over into that manifold, and then we have water for the sink, the shower, that extra line over there, and then I must have capped off another one. And this right here is the drain for the kitchen sink. It comes down, more 110 up there. It's at an angle down over there to the gray tank, which I'll show better in a second. So this freshwater tank's about 45 gallons. And then we also have 4 of these 6-gallon jugs that give us another 24. And they're great also, like we were camping in the forest one time and we were able to just drive and get water in the car without having to reload, like drive the bus down for fresh water. So you can see that's where the drain comes along. This right here is just a vent, and then it goes into the gray tank right there. This line right here is from the shower. And once again, we got 2 more 5-gallon propane tanks. This one is for the hot water heater, and whenever one gets low, you can just switch it right over to the other one, and that's all there is to it.
Turn your magic on with me, she'd say everything you want to everything you want to dream away. Under this pressure, under this weight, we are diamonds taking shape. We are diamonds